Hello there, good evening. My name's Tosh Britton and I'm the founder of Divorce Goddess, and I am spending Tuesday nights talking about all sorts of things relevant to modern day society, living in this very unusual, very different and very challenging world. And obviously I'm here with Steve and James.
Hey. Oh, nice to be here again with you, Tosh.
Yeah, likewise. It's really lovely to see you guys.
Got some balloons out for you and everything tonight, you know.
I know.
Party time with Tosh.
I think what's going to happen is, like, every week there's going to be something random in the background for us. Last week it was an exercise bike, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still here, the exercise bike. It's just been moved to a different room. The kids were kicking it as it came through the door. I'm not expecting any food deliveries today. No food parcels, unfortunately. So I'll have to make my own tea. But yeah, you never know.
One day you might say that, and somebody might just, who knows you're on, might just kind of come around and go, right, okay, here we go.
On purpose, yeah.
We've got our new shirts, haven't we, guys?
We have. Look.
Perfectly coordinated.
And hang on. A little cheeky.
Oh yeah.
Back arm. There we go.
You look like we started a football team, don't we?
Yeah. So it's all good. So yeah, we're all good to go. So this week, if any of you start watching this, right, we're just going to take a moment, and I want you all to pick up your phones.
Which one? I've got a couple.
Have you got? I'll get you. Well, whichever one you want to pick up.
I'm only joking. Got one.
Okay, so in this day and age, I'm not going to be sitting here and I'm not going to be saying social media is like the worst thing ever to hit the planet or anything like that, because in many ways, particularly through lockdown, as you guys might agree, it's just been a saving for so many people to be able to reach out and to be able to contact loved ones, and with Zoom and everything else. It's so we're not on here to social media bash, because we know there is a place for it in society, and particularly single parents as well. I think crikey, we'd all be in quite a lot of trouble if we didn't have our phones to connect with people. But along with that, as with everything, you have the good stuff and you have your bad stuff. And today we're going to be talking about how better to manage the bad stuff around social media. So I want you all, if you're watching, to get your phone now. And I think what we're going to do first of all is I'm just going to sort of take you through a meditation, a social media meditation, if you like. So obviously you're not going to be closing your eyes because you're going to have your hands on the phone. And I want you to, we're not going to open it up, but what I want you to do is we're going to just take a moment, take a breath, kind of just connect to how we're feeling. So we're just going to, whatever's happened today is just a kind of, just kind of check in with how your body's feeling. Yes. And you might have little sore shoulders, your neck might be a little bit, you might have working from home neck. I know I do at the moment.
My legs aches, my legs spin on the bike.
You might have been on the bike legs. So just checking in with yourself. You might have stroking cheek thing going on here or whatever it is. So yeah, so we're just gonna check in with your body. How are you feeling? Have you drunk enough water? Have you got a bit of a headache? Are you feeling hungry? Have you not eaten some good food? Or you're kind of feeling like you've had too much sugar and you're feeling a little bit buzzy? So just check in with our body. And I'm probably going to say this many times over, but your body is your best barometer for how you are feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, you might have it in your body. And just maybe if you are feeling a bit anxious, or you've had a stressful day, or you're worrying about whatever is now being announced on the news in 2020, who knows these days, is to just check in to see where you're feeling it. Are you feeling it in your belly? Is it a rock for you? Is it shoulders? I don't know where you guys, we've kind of mentioned this before. If I was to say to you, where do you kind of feel your stress? Where would you say you feel it?
In my forehead.
In your forehead. And you, Joe?
It's tricky. Well, probably it's more for me, not a specific place in my body, that I feel myself getting really stressed and irritable irritable. That's the word. I get really, really irritable when I'm stressed and just can't cope with things and snap at the kids. And yeah,
And that's when we get quite triggered, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you notice when you're getting like that, and you kind of go, oh, I'm feeling a bit like this today, so I just need to be a bit more careful and manage my well-being better?
yeah. I mean, obviously, you're going to talk about social media, but one thing that seems to trigger me, especially when I'm with the kids, is using my phone. If I'm getting messages and I'm trying to reply to them, and my children are asking me for things, I get a bit snappy. So what I've tried to start doing now, when I'm with the kids, is turning my internet off.
Yeah.
Just stopping that flow of WhatsApp, Messenger, or whatever it is, emails pinging, and it's like you feel like you have to respond to them there and then. Well, I do anyway. And when you've got 2 kids and they're asking for things, you can't always do that, and that affects my mood. It puts me in a bad mood because I'm trying to reply and they're like coming to me all the time. Dad. I'm like, I'm just trying to reply, and it just makes me snap sometimes.
And then you get dad guilt
Yeah,
or mum guilt
yeah.
because you're not giving your kids that 100%.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Yeah.
And you know, we all know what that feels like. I'm just going to kind of like mention this. It's like, you know, if you've been in the pub or a party or something and you're talking to somebody and they keep looking over their shoulder and you're just thinking to yourself, like, why can't you just talk to me? You know, it's a bit like that. And I think, you know, our kids, you know, feel a bit like that. And I'm sure we're all parents. We've all had our kids, including me, you know, I'm a human as well. Doing, you know, going, Mom, were you listening to me? Or if they ask you something and then later you go, why are you doing that? And they go, because you said yes. And I go, oh my God, I can't even remember saying yes.
Yeah, but kids always seem to want to ask you things more when you're busy.
I know.
My kids can be sat down playing on an Xbox for 2 hours, not speaking to anybody, right? The second I go to the toilet,
that one,
or get a phone call, they want a drink, they want a packet of crisps, they want a biscuit, they want you to help them with a game, they want everything.
Yeah.
But for it's just mental. I don't know why they think it.
I get that at like 10:30 at night. I get one of my teenagers going, Mum, I really want to talk to you. I want to show you something. And I'm going, hang on a minute. We've just been around all evening. I'm about to go to sleep. I've just brushed my teeth. I'm feeling quite tired. And they go, oh, come on, just let me show you.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Well,
What about the questions they ask you? Like Harry asked me the other day, why is the world round?
Oh.
How do you answer it?
Oh, can I tell you, love those moments. Mine don't ask me anything like that anymore. They just ask me for money. And you know what? I want questions like that.
Rowan came up with a good one the other day.
Oh,
Harry, why is the world round?
Why is the world round, Harry?
why is the world round, Harry?
It's so that is it because so that we don't fall? What?
Did you hear that?
Good answer. So we don't fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Good answer.
Rowan said to me, is a yogurt a food or a drink?
Is the yogurt a food or a drink?
If the world doesn't spin, I think that means we won't be able to breathe.
We won't be able to breathe, yeah.
Maybe.
I'm going to come to you next time I need some science homework done.
Yeah.
Lovely. I love that. So so social media, right? It demands of our time. It increases our anxiety, our stress, our need to really get things done. And, that sense of immediacy, everything needs to be done so quickly. And for many of the, if you've got teenagers as well, they never use email unless they have to do it for schoolwork. They don't even use text or WhatsApp, they're on immediate like the rest of them. So I guess if we're mentioning one, we should mention them all. But the faster the better. And I ran this meditation, this exercise we're going to do at a secondary school. And I kind of sat there, and all these teenagers all sitting going, well, what are we here for? And I was like, right, we're going to get your phones out. And they were like, oh, that's all right. And as soon as they literally had their phones in their hands, they were, and it's not we do it as well as adults, it's not just teenagers, but they literally were scrolling through all their messages, and half of them started typing away really quickly. And I was like, stop, just stop. And they kind of, I had to tell them several times because they were so engaged in their phone that they didn't even hear anybody else talking. And, you know, adults are the same, you know, none of us. So this is the big thing about social media, is actually being able to manage it properly. So we're more aware of the outside and what's going on away from, you know, these devices, but also how we're feeling internally as well. And James, you mentioned about sort of, you know, feeling like quite triggered by it as well. And
stress,
and I think we kind of got to remember the world's not going to collapse because, well, who knows these days, but the world's, you know, your world's not going to end because we're not answering this message or this text. And almost, I don't know about maybe Steve or James, you can almost feel that if you've got a massive long chat going on really quickly, or friends pinging you backwards and forwards trying to arrange them, you can almost feel it off the phone. There's this sort of like thing going on. Yeah. And it's a real strange one. So when you feel like that is happening, it's just to kind of, as soon as you notice it, the more you practice doing this, the better it is and the easier it is for you, is to just kind of notice when you're feeling that you're on the conveyor belt and it's suddenly speeded up and everybody's kind of, you know, and it's just to kind of just jump off. And it's a bit like being in an airport at one of those walkways, travelators. And when you get off at the end, it's all a little bit, you know, to be walking quite fast, you kind of miss your step almost.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to do to your thoughts around social media, is you got to step off and just almost sort of reset what's happening.
That's my difficulty. I think I've got an addiction to my phone.
So how can we get over this? So right, we are going to do this now. So I want you all to open your phones, and if you're watching as well, to open your phone, and I want you, don't get on an app, just open your phone, right, and just notice how you're feeling.
1 minute, I've got a hot message.
No, I don't care about the hot message. The hot message can like go lukewarm. Right, we're sticking with this one, right? So just notice how you're feeling. Like, have you noticed the red dots by the apps? Have you noticed notifications? You know, what are you how are you feeling? You haven't even opened an app yet, right? But how are you feeling seeing all these dots next door to your apps?
You want to respond.
Yeah, definitely.
What is that feeling inside you? Is it like that sort of urgency that
it's like Steve said, it's like an addiction. Like, you want to get your fix, and you want to see who it is who's messaged you.
Yeah, it's like opening a present. It's like opening a present. Yeah.
So what we're going to do now, right? I've never done this on Christmas Day. We're just going to close our phones up. We're going to put them down.
Text her later. I'm only joking.
No voicemails either.
You're texting me later, don't worry.
I'm working on it. Tosh is working on it.
So when I told you to put your phones down, and if you're watching as well, just notice how you felt. What was going through your mind when I told you to put your phone down?
We've missed out on something.
And you got the fear of missing a FOMO.
That FOMO that you mentioned, the fear of like, what if that could have been a really, really important message? And we know it probably wasn't, but we think that, we're going to miss out on something because we've not responded and we've put it down and it's sat there now. You can see it and you just want to pick it up and reply and respond straight away.
Or that the person you were texting, he starts to get paranoid that they'll think you're no longer interested.
Okay, so that's their stuff, right? When we start thinking we just need to make it good for everybody, every time we're doing that, we're just giving more of ourselves and we're just emptying out our batteries, yeah? So really notice when you're answering the phone, is it for other people to make them feel better, or is it about you? And it's not to say you don't care about people, that you're not going to do it, but just notice the reasons why you are feeling the need to text back. And do you know what, if somebody calls you out on it, just say, actually, do you know what, I'm just spending some time doing some social media like work on this, so because I'm noticing this, and just see what they say, because maybe they go, actually, do you know what, that's a really good idea, that's how I feel. Make an agreement with your best buddies. If you catch a text bit or a message and you haven't come back, that's what you're doing. Communicate what you're doing, communicate that this is how you want it to be because it's better for you. And then doing that gives people permission to actually do the same.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really, this stuff isn't going to go away. And, years ago, right, I'm going to get this right. It's something I read ages ago and I just suddenly remembered it, right? We were built like this. So we were really grounded. Yeah. We were in our bodies. We weren't living in our heads. Right. So basically we were like this. And so rarely did we ever overthink things back in the day, because nothing was as fast as it is now. Yeah. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
And now it's almost like we've gone the other way. So we just think in our heads, and we're so ungrounded because all we're doing is just thinking about everything else. That why we all feel a bit like all over the place sometimes is because we're literally wobbling like this, because we've got more going on in our heads rather than just being present and just being there and just slowing down and being more grounded. So okay, so I just wanted to make sure that kind of all makes sense. So I just thought about it. But so social media, right? So we're going to pick up our phones again, and we're going to pick one app. Okay, gonna pick one app, and you're gonna
don't say anything, James Niven.
and you're gonna notice how you feel before you click on it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna click on it.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna look. Don't move your fingers over it, and you're just gonna look and see what has popped up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, interestingly for me, it's a post on Single Parents United for Positivity and Socialising. And somebody is saying they're enjoying a glass of wine finally. And I'm thinking, oh, that sounds very nice. So what I want you to do is notice what has come up for you and how does it make you feel. Notice if it isn't interesting you want to flick on. So really sort of bring your attention to what it is. How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel, maybe for a lot of people, they get into that whole comparison thing. They get into that whole like shaming thing. They're judging people, Just be aware of how you're feeling when you see, right. Okay, so now we're going to close our phones.
Done it.
Feels like we're back at school.
Done it.
You did really well, you two. I loved it. I didn't even have to say that twice. So, and when I asked you to close the phone, how do you feel now?
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Feel
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to open up our phones and we're going to look at another app. And again, notice how you're feeling before you look on this app.
Right.
Maybe one of you two want to share what you're thinking or what you're feeling when you.
So I'm looking at the Facebook group that we run, for single parents, and I'm feeling quite good because I'm seeing lots of positive posts from parents.
Lovely.
So that's where I'm at.
That's lovely.
I've looking at my bank account.
That was a brave move.
I try not to check my bank balance very often, but for the purpose of the experiment, I'm going to do it.
Good.
And It's not looking good, I'll be honest with you.
And how do you feel? I know you're being very smiley about it, but how you?
The reason that I don't look at my bank account very often is because it does annoy me when I realise I've got £25 left and I've got 2 weeks till I get paid and I need shopping, and I need petrol, and I need this, that, and the other. So I really try hard not to look at it very often, and I do pretty well with that. But it's actually, what date is it? The 12th.
12.
12. Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's better than I thought it was going to be. So actually, I'm feeling okay.
So you don't need me to wire any money just yet?
Not yet.
Is that the benefit? Is that the benefits of being in lockdown and being quarantined for a couple of weeks?
Probably, yeah. Certainly the fuel money and the food money was, I didn't need to spend much on that. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'm quite happy with the balance.
Good. Oh, so many people are kind of looking through, and they're kind of get very okay. So we're just gonna close our phones now. I'm gonna put it down. First one to put it down gets a chup. So yeah, so social media and how we feel around it, and to notice when you're and ways that you can is to limit. And I actually got it up on the phone actually. Is to limit your social media use, and there are some apps. And I've got a couple of apps.
Yeah,
here.
I think I've got one of them and all.
Have you?
Yeah, I don't.
And,
No, I haven't.
and one is called Stay Free, which is a free app, and it's a screen time tracker and limit app usage. And there's also another one called Your Hour, a phone addiction tracker and controller, which you might.
Hey, tell me about these things. That's why I keep bothering you in the middle of the night.
So what you do is you put your information in, and you put your main apps that you spend a lot of time on there. And then even if you just do it, so I'm not saying it's forever, because when you say things are forever, it's a bit like saying, I remember when I was, my mum would give me a diary or something for Christmas, and I'd start off at the beginning of the year, and by like halfway through February, I was like down to one line or a couple of words. So just start doing it for a couple of days a week. Yeah, if you're feeling particularly anxious as well, and set a limit on it. So it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something.
It pings up. I think I've deleted mine.
I had one and I deleted it.
I did have one, yeah, but it comes up like when you're reaching the limit, doesn't it? And says you to have a break and stuff. And if you go into it, it gives you details of how many times you've opened the screen. That was a big one for me. I couldn't believe it. Like by the end of the day, you'd opened up your screen lock about over 100 times, well over 100 times, just opening it, maybe checking it, putting it down, opening it. I couldn't believe it, how many times I'd opened it. It was ridiculous. And
if nothing else, it's worth downloading the app just to do that, just to kind of make you aware.
Yeah.
We're not trying to say don't be on your phone. I mean, a lot of people do a lot of work on their phones as well. And that's just the way it is. But actually, it's just a growing awareness of how much time we do spend on it, or how many times we do pick it up. So things like if you're working from home and you can like put your phone on silent for an hour, or somebody said put it in another room, upstairs or downstairs, or somewhere away from where you are, put it on flight mode for an hour, and just get used to doing it for small amounts of time. We're not asking people to completely change the way they use their devices, but if you're feeling anxious and stressed, and particularly having been, you end up down a rabbit hole in social media, is just to be aware of how you feel. Is it good for you? Does it make you feel more anxious? Do you then start judging yourself on the back of the fact that, you feel a bit like Billy No Mates, or you feel, obviously not if you're in this gang, but if you don't feel like you have friends, or you see your married friends going to do some lovely stuff, or
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, that's what I was going to say. That it's so easy to like compare yourself, especially like you said, if you're a single person, and you look at these people who live like a Facebook life that seems perfect in every way. They're going off to the beach. They're going off on nice holidays. Obviously, they put all the best pictures of the family on, but
They
Like,
don't put the big arguments.
no, of course they're not going to, are they? But the fake
Funnies.
life, and that's obviously that's all you see on Facebook or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You see the best bits of everybody's life, but that's not a true reflection, is it, of obviously a lot of people's lives? But you only see the best bits, and it makes you feel rubbish that I'm going to turn my phone over. It's flashing at me now. You compare yourself and think, why have I not got these best bits? Or I used to have these when I was with my ex-wife, my ex-husband, whatever, and you want it back, and it's really hard to not.
It can be a real spiral as well, because if you're feeling slightly, particularly at the weekend, if you haven't got the kids and they're with your partner, and lockdown's happening, so you're more likely to be on your own, or even if lockdown isn't happening, is to kind of have a glass of wine or a beer or something, or a gin, and then end up going, oh, I'll just go on my phone, and by the end of it, you've done an hour really quickly, and you're feeling even more lonely because you're seeing people out doing stuff or seeing friends as well, and it just.
The worst one is when you just said, so you'll put a post on because you're alone on a Saturday night, and you get one like. Just one like, and you're like, if you like me, you're like, why is nobody liking it?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so anybody watching this, okay, if you do see one of your mates and they're at home, just give them a like, just
Yeah.
Especially me.
Big thumbs up.
So there is that as well, and
Oh yeah, what's that, Tosh? What do you think about this? Because you've got a like and you've got a love. And I often say to James, why didn't you love it? It's brilliant news.
oh,
I'm a thumbs up kind of guy, mate. I put a thumbs up to lots of everything, and it's really, some people get really annoyed if they send you a message and you just put a thumbs up in response. They're like, don't even bother replying if you're going to put a thumbs up. They say it's the laziest response you could ever give, and they get angry with that.
But that's the thing, you see, this is like the whole thing around judgment. It's like we all lead really busy lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't have time to do that, but we don't want that person to think that we haven't read it.
Yeah.
Because we can all see it. It's got to be a thumbs up. It's got to be better than somebody reading it and then not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I think, so often we can get into that whole sort of like whirlpool of, oh my God, they hate me, or they don't like me, or they haven't got time for me, and I'm not worth being, I'm not in it. We kind of start going in on ourselves, and we start being unkind to ourselves about it. So it's, it makes it about us, and actually we don't know what is going on in anybody else's life that they couldn't do that.
No.
But it's about coming back and noticing how it makes you feel, and I think it's about having your own back through all of this, and not relying on other people or the likes. And this is, as we all know, and there's kind of more and more sort of attention towards teenagers and the likes on Instagram, and how many they get or
followers, how many followers and stuff.
Yeah, and how many, and I went through a time, it was about was it last year? It was the end of I can't remember which year it is anymore. The end of last year, and it was the year before, and I hired this business coach, and she was like, no, you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and all these people are saying, if you want your book out, you've got to get this many followers. And I got myself so stressed that I love Instagram, but I got so stressed about it for a while, because everything was done for what I thought people wanted. And what I had to learn was, you just write what you want. People want to follow you as a person, not because of what you think they want to see.
Yeah.
So that's why I put a cheeky one out every now and then, a big sweary post.
Yeah. And honesty.
Everybody likes an honest sweary post.
Yeah.
It's hit thousands. Honestly, some of these posts have hit 1,000 followers, and I don't really care anymore. But I just go, you know what? If 1,000 people saw that post and they went, oh yeah, it's made me feel a whole lot better seeing a sweary post, I'm gonna like it. Winner.
Like you say, like a lot of these celebrities, a lot of them have got millions and millions of followers. They've not got those followers because the content of what they're putting on their Instagram page is good. They've got them just because people are following, just for the sake of it. Like you said, the stigma of, oh, it's a celebrity. And like you were saying, it's more about the quality than the quantity, isn't it? And following them for the content of their page rather than just, oh, it's a celebrity, I'm going to follow them.
Totally with you. And there's this really, I'm trying to think of her name. She's this Instagrammer, and her whole page is full of like 2 poses. So one's a Instagram influencer doing their bikini shot, and she's like, I don't know what size she is. She's probably like a great size 16, and she's doing the bikini shot. So she gets the same costume. And she copies them, and she's got probably more followers than the influencers, because she's properly going, actually, this is real life. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, James.
We'll follow. I don't even know the name of any top male models, to be honest with you, so to follow.
Following Tosh, just copy Tosh.
Oh, you need to borrow my card I put up on it the other
just
day.
Meditate.
Yeah.
Just meditate. So, social media, right? Okay, some takeaways are, if you're going to do some social media work, set a time each day to do it. Not when your kids are around, as James was saying, because it's just going to make you feel guilty. Your attention's going to be in 2 directions. And as we kind of know, when we're spinning plates, have you ever tried to spin plates? You're literally like this. So you're never giving anybody your full attention. And we all know that when somebody listens to us, we feel heard, and how good it is. And for our kids, it's such a good thing for them to know that they're worth being heard, especially in this busy world as well. And that you're hearing them. And I know, Steve, you've mentioned it before in conversations we've had about actually giving your children 10 minutes or something, just to kind of, and really listening to them.
Yeah, I researched something over the COVID-19 break, and it's called Special Time with Your Children, and you give each child 10 minutes special time every day. And I did it for a week, and my kids absolutely loved it.
Oh, that's lovely. And I have to say that I kind of try and do that with my teenager, like my other one's away at uni, but one, Felix, I'll just say to him,
Harry, we're not doing special time tonight, Norma, sorry.
There'll be 3 of us that will listen to him. But just giving your children that time as well. So I would say that. So just notice which are the apps that most stress you out. Which are the ones you're spending a lot of time on, actually, that it's almost like you're just going back in there, because that's what's that quote about, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you're feeling stressed and Facebook or whatever, which one it is, stresses you out, just take a break. Just take a couple of breaks. Just put a post on your feed and just go, I'm just going to take a social media break for a day. Oh, I did that about a month ago. It was amazing. It was so good. I felt so liberated.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I've got the phone in my hand even now. I can't put it down.
But just try not to have your phone in your hand for an hour. Get the kids to hide your phone for an hour.
Not possible.
No, they won't be able to find it again. Ringing it in their phone. No, it's not. I saw that thing that you posted put on Instagram when you did that day. Was it a blackout day or something called? I can't remember what it was. It's really good to hear that.
Day, yeah.
Yeah, and I said I'm by no means perfect with it, but I do know that when I do try it, turning the internet off, not turning my phone off, just turning the internet off, because that's for the most activity when you've got your internet on. When I'm with the kids, it really does work. It really does help me.
It just makes you feel great.
Yeah, and then just put my internet back on when they've gone to bed, and then you've got that time to spend on replying to some of your messages if you need to without being there. It does work. It does really work.
Harry,
I think that's really valuable advice, right? Harry, can you go and hide Daddy's phone, right, for an hour until you go to bed, right? And tell Daddy just before you go to sleep that where his phone is. Can you go and hide it for me?
Why?
Just because, and I'll tell you one day.
Okay.
All right, don't, whatever daddy does, don't let him.
I was going to put it down the toilet somewhere.
No,
Can't be through the next door neighbor's letterbox.
He's hiding it. He's hiding the phone.
I can't believe it. He's going to love you so much, and you get to spend like
He's
some
not gonna
time now.
Gosh.
I'm worried.
I just got right.
No,
So sweet.
That's
So
what
yeah, and
Say
there was just
sorry.
one more thing. I was sorry.
so
it's called
like saying what we were saying before, obviously there's we all need to really concentrate on this, not using social media too much. It can be really damaging and not good for your mental health. But on the flip side of it, like we mentioned, social isolation is a big thing at the moment, and for some people it's their only form of communication to grandparents, parents, loved ones who they can't see. It's just that FaceTime or whatever it is. Used properly, they're absolutely brilliant, aren't they? And they connect people, and they do help with loneliness, social isolation, and lots of things if they're used properly.
And I think that's really key with all of this. It's, it's to be used properly, and it's like anything in life. It's about balance, isn't it? And if you feel it's tipping the other way, then it's about taking those small steps to, bring you back, like getting your phone hidden for an hour. But just to notice. And the other one I wanted to mention is
I'm going to ring it after this.
Yeah. They don't.
He'll be panicking. I want to answer the phone, Harry. I want to answer the phone.
The other thing I was going to mention is like, when you talk about fear of missing out, there's also that joy of missing out, JOMO.
All right.
And it's actually like turning it on its head and flipping it and going, actually, do you know what? I can actually feel joy that I'm missing out. Actually, look at the benefits. I get time with my children.
Yeah.
I get time away from it. I get time to maybe even read a book or do something or what that you wouldn't normally do.
James has never read a book in his life, Tosh.
I'm waiting to read Tosh's to send you free copy.
Do you know what?
I've read the first page of it.
There's a couple of things in the pipeline actually, which I'm going to try and get out really quickly, but which should be really good. So yeah.
Sorry, won't interrupt you.
No, not at all.
I thought you meant now. Right.
Not yet. But it'll be a book, and you'll be able to draw pictures in it as well.
That sounds like my kind of book.
No
words, just pictures.
Maybe a few words. You can write a few of your own.
Reading it, I tell you what, it's something that I do need to start doing, and it can, like you said, it can replace you using your phone. And I've read a couple of books, mainly based around football or something, but it's something that I need to do a bit more of. You need to recommend some good books to me, Tosh.
Okay, I'm gonna do a couple.
I'm me, Tosh.
And you too, right?
I'm just as bad as he is. Yeah. The only book we've read is Of Mice and Men, and that was at school, wasn't it?
That's probably enough to put you off, but I shouldn't do that because then the literary lot will get upset about it. Yeah. So the other thing I was going to say is when you start reading and how much your mind kind of drifts off to thoughts of the day. And I used to love reading, and I remember once sitting down with a book and I literally couldn't read, and I got really freaked out. It was kind of when I was super, super stressed, and I got really freaked out that I didn't think I could read anymore because my mind was so mad and so crazy and so scattered that I couldn't even focus on reading. And I love reading. So that for me was like a massive red flag for me, that I needed to like come back, do some breathing, do some meditation. So even if you're going to like pick up your phone and just take those of you who still got your phones, is to, obviously take deep breaths down into your belly as well. Just take a couple of deep breaths. Notice how you're feeling before you pick up the phone. Notice how you feel as you're reading apps. How do they make you feel? Do they make you happy? Because obviously there are lots that do. And if they make you sad, if they make you, if they make you feel judged, or if you make you feel like not good enough or a failure, and just really check in regularly how these make you feel. And the mind monkeys are going to want to sweep these thoughts. They don't want you to think like that because they want you, you know, in their mind monkey land. So
Leah.
I love that. Here we go. And awesome. Have we got names from them yet, by the way?
We've got a couple of suggestions. Yeah, we have
Right.
good ones.
Okay, you need to put it out to the group as well. Maybe that might be a good
Yeah,
idea.
we had one of them said definitely Boris. One of them needs to be Boris,
Boris.
which I thought was quite a good. Another-
And Boris and Donald.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But there was another 2 suggestions as well. Can't think of the top of my head, but yeah.
Stick them in the hat and we'll do a great reveal maybe.
Yes, yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think we said 1st of November, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So yeah, anybody got any who's watching this has got names? We're naming the mind monkeys. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so thank you for that. I just wanted to say if I got anything else to say, take a deep breath, notice how you feel afterwards as well. And also things like eyes, you know, are you looking at your phones in bad light? Are you wearing your glasses when you ought to be reading them, wearing them? Are you, just notice. And I think we also ought to maybe put in the links a couple of charities that work with addiction as well. So if this is something you're genuinely concerned about, we'll put a couple of charities. And I know I met a really amazing one, a guy called Chris Hill, who runs an amazing charity. I think Russell Brand kind of knows of him as well. So if you are concerned and you think you have an addiction, it's okay to reach out and ask for help. And, you know, there are people on the lines, on the telephone lines, the phone lines, who will know how you feel. And B, we live in a very addictive society, so you're not alone.
Yeah, definitely.
at all.
You know, it's the last thing one of the last things I do at night, check my phone, and it's one of the first things I do in the morning. After snoozing my alarm several times, internet goes on, check your messages. You know, it's ridiculous, isn't it, really? Makes you late for work sometimes. You know, it can be that bad.
That's why somebody said if you can get an old style alarm clock and just leave your phone out the room and just turn it on flight mode as well, so you haven't got any of that stuff going on. So
yeah, but tell you what, Tosh, the meditation is working really well for me.
Oh, I'm
really well. I've been listening to it pretty much every night.
It's not working for me, Tosh. I can't get him to do anything anymore.
Sleep all the time. Doing the job. Definitely doing the job. Definitely doing the job. So
good. I'm pleased to hear
big
it.
advocate for the meditating, and especially like when you say you can be on your phone most of the night, your brain's working overload because you've been looking at all these messages, pictures, whatever. You go to bed, your mind's still like this. So for me, I use the phone for the meditation, but I can use it with the internet turned off, so it's perfect. Just put it on there, and it just really, really helps me to slow my thoughts down and everything, and just really settles me and relaxes me. It's been really good. So thank you for that.
Maybe we might as well. Pleasure. Thank you, and thank you for talking about it as well, because testimonials about things are really, really powerful. Maybe I might actually put a couple of these on as audio files in the onto the thing. So if you haven't tried meditation, it's the meditations I do are mainly around the breath and the body as well. So it's just focusing, it's just asking your mind monkeys just to focus on like what your forehead's doing, what your nose is doing, your neck, your back, your shoulders. That's all it is. And it's just noticing when your mind wanders off and bringing it back. And a breathing meditation as well.
Yeah.
But James, which one would you suggest would be a good one out of the ones I
Can you remember, James?
Actually, I think
his memory's getting better because he's meditating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it depends. If I think I've had a particularly stressful, full-on day, I would use the body scan one because it's longer. I think it's about 19-20 minutes, that one. And I've never got to the end of the body scan. I don't know how it ends because I've always fallen asleep before it ends. If I think I don't maybe need as long, I'll listen to one of the ones. Is there a beach one I think that you've done, which is only maybe 10 minutes long, and again I've been asleep in less than 10 minutes before using that one. So
maybe I'll put those two. We can upload those two and just
maybe need one a little bit longer if I've had a stressful day with Steve, though. Maybe about an hour long.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't done an hour's one for ages, but I think I might do one.
Did that, yeah.
What about the well, Tasha's, you've actually helped me a lot, so I'll give you credit on the life coaching tips and guidance you've given me on letting things go from the past. That's been really instrumental in my single parent recovery, so thank you.
Pleasure. Letting go. You
I
know.
don't let go of this one yet below us, but
Oh yeah, I'm not underneath you guys. Normally I'm kind of like holding. Yeah, letting go is a really powerful thing. It's about letting go as well. It's like social media, letting go of things you see, letting go of your ex. If your ex is still on your friends or you're sneakily following them through other people, let that habit go right now. Just you don't need to have that in your life. You really don't need. So if you're feeling, you've had a couple of glasses of an evening at the weekend or whatever, and you want to go sneaking around on social media looking at what your ex is doing,
don't do it.
Just expect, yeah, exactly. Just expect to be disappointed and filled with anger and whatever else at the end of it. That's like a dead cert for making you feel like not great.
just follow Single Parents United on YouTube and you'll find us three.
I think that phones should be able to detect alcohol in your fingerprint and stop you using your phone.
That's amazing.
There must be some technology now that can stop you messaging exes and people you've dated 6 months ago. There must be some piece of technology that can stop you doing that.
Yeah, because that technology is me, James. Because at midnight you say, "Here's my phone. Don't let me have it back."
But yeah, as much as we've talked about the negative side of some social media, there are many, many positives. So we do hope that you will find us on Facebook, Single Parents United. We're a very supportive group. We're also here on YouTube, and you can also follow us on Instagram at single.parents.united and promote all the good things about social media like we're trying to do.
Exactly.
I'm just going to ring Steve now, okay?
Harry, where's my phone? He doesn't know.
It's ringing. Can you hear it, Steve? It's ringing.
The phone's ringing. Can you hear it? Oh, he can hear it. He's looking for it.
Oh, that's all right. It's when you put it on silent and the battery goes and nobody can remember where it is.
What do you want?
Hello? Don't give your daddy's phone back till tomorrow morning, okay?
Okay.
Bye, Harry.
Bye.
Oh. Bye, Harry. Lovely. So yeah, social media absolutely, as James has said, is like anything, we just need to be balanced about it. Yeah. And do reach out if you're feeling like it's becoming too much.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's what we can take away from tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.